All right, good morning, everyone. Let's talk about the beauty of love. Who loves love? I only saw two hands, three. Who loves love? Yeah, yeah, we all do, right? Yeah, whether it's for our pets or our kids, our spouses, right? Yeah, friends. Yeah, so we'll be talking about the beauty of love. And yeah, and the month of February celebrates love, right? We have Valentine's Day. Yeah. How many people celebrate Valentine's Day? Again, I only see two couples. I'm kidding. Yeah, so let's talk about love. Yeah, we're known to celebrate, not culturally, but worldwide, globally, at least, or most countries or most people celebrate love on Valentine's Day, right? But I like to think of it as February, the month of love. Maybe it's just me, not just one day, but the whole month and the whole year. Every day is love, an expression of love, and um, and of course, love existed before February, right? Before Valentine's Day. Um, we are a result of love, right? Um, Not just between our parents, but between God, right? That it all originated from love. And I learned this from, just like we all have from the divine principle, which talks about um, God's intention of creating the universe, of creation, the purpose of creation being love. And so I got to a point one time and I asked God, why was love? Why was it just love specifically? Why not anything else? It could have been peace, maybe, right? Or faith. I don't know. Yeah, so I asked, like, what was so great about this, or what exactly did God feel, this deep love that he wanted to, that led to the creation of the entire universe? The waters, the beautiful ocean, the seas, the fish, the sea animals, and us human beings, right? The beautiful mountains, we see it. I feel like God's love is deeply expressed in Washington since I've been here. You could see the beautiful mountains, the trees, it's evergreen. When I was in New Jersey during the winter, it was so like, I was like, I need green. And it was so difficult to find it. And until the summer is when I was like, oh, it feels like life. But here I go around and there's always this feeling of life. And so I've come to love Washington in that way. And and so, yeah, with this question, of course, it wasn't just a question. I don't know how God is going to respond to me. A lot of the times we don't know how God is going to respond. So for me, I look for answers. I go talking to people, I go researching, I try to find an answer, and I feel like, as I'm searching, it's like, God, talk to me or give me the answer I'm looking for. And so I think there's something on the laptop there. Well, according to First John, let me try one more time. Yeah, it's on. Wait, let's just make sure it's on. All right. According to First John, as we pull up the screen here, First John chapter 4, verse 8, it says, "Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. Right? Whoever does not love does not know God, because God is love. For you to understand love, you have to love. Right? For you to understand God, you have to love, and once you feel that love, you start to understand the purpose behind this creation, the purpose behind this deep love that God felt in the beginning. And yeah, and like I said, I was searching for myself. Yeah, there we go. I was searching, and I came to discover, if you look beyond the words of beyond that verse, you could see it says God loves you, right? And that's what I discovered. Just because of the purpose of creation was love, right? And so what does that mean in general? God loves me. God loved me from the beginning, God loved you from beginning, and that was the intention behind it, to just love you. And God created human beings according to the divine principle. God created human beings to be the object of his love. Therefore, the purpose of creation is joy, which comes from love. God's purpose of creating the universe is to feel joy through love. And joy arises when an object partner receives love from the subject partner and returns beauty. Right? That feeling of joy, like when you're seeking joy, how does it come about, right? How do you feel joy? You feel joy when, I know Augustine feels joy when we have the bento bazaar. the sashimi, he's just like so excited. He's feeling the love through the food, right? And a lot of us feel love. True parents say, true father said, food is love, right? We feel love from just this deliciousness that, we smell in the nice, delicious flavors or spices or seasoning in the food, right? And then we eat it, and our taste buds just enjoy it. And, you feel this love go in through your body. I don't know if it's just me. Right? Speaking to the crowd here. And we feel love as when someone listens to you sometimes, If someone's just giving you their full attention, that is a way of feeling love or giving love and receiving love. Or just saying, I love you. That is a simple way of expressing love, just saying it sincerely, right? And love did not begin with human beings. We did not invent love. We received it from the beginning. We received love. We didn't invent it. We received it from the beginning, because the beginning was love. Love begins with God. We love because he first loved us. That's on 1 John chapter 4, verse 19. God loved us first. And God's ideal begins with love. Love is the root, the trunk, and the fruit of life. This was by True Father, Reverend San Myung-moon. Said God's ideal begins with love. Love is the root, the trunk, and the fruit of life. I've read so many speeches of True Father where he loved love. Like, you could just by reading his speeches, I've never met him, but through his words, you hear this deep understanding of what love is and what God's love is and what we could create for ourselves by beginning with God. And love is not just a feeling. Love is not just a feeling, it's a blessing. You could see that happy couple right there. The first words God spoke to humanity were not commands, they were blessing. They were a blessing. God blessed them and said, "Be fruitful." Right? And the blessing we receive begins with God. Like, we all received the blessing, or some of us received the blessing, and there are those who are intending to in the near future. But that blessing we receive, at least from my understanding, is I felt like I am committing to begin this new journey with God. I'm committing to begin this love journey with God. So I'm beginning with God. It wasn't just a feeling, it was a blessing I was receiving from God. We were receiving from God. And that's the whole purpose. We have true parents who are representatives of God, physical representatives of God here on earth. And so as we're receiving this blessing, the beautiful blessing from true parents, right, as representatives of God, it's like you're standing before God and saying, I receive this blessing and I commit to creating a love or living a life of love, right, centered on you. You're starting in that moment. And true love begins when we take responsibility for our own growth. This is by our true mother, Dr. Hak Jahan. Said true love begins when we take responsibility for our own growth. And what does responsibility mean? Our ability to respond. So we are responsible for responding for our own growth, right? Nobody else can take responsibility for your growth, right? Only you can do it. And so for you to become a person of true love, you have to take responsibility. You have to respond to love. And love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. This was by Martin Luther King Jr. And according to the divine principle, the three great blessings are God's original gift to humankind. And the first blessing, to be fruitful, is the foundation of all love. And to be fruitful doesn't simply mean productivity or success. It means to mature in love, right? And that was what Adam and Eve were not successful in doing, maturing in love. And so with the first blessing, that's the essence of it, to be able to mature in our love. And that means basically beginning with God, mature ourselves with God at the center of it. And I already mentioned the first blessing, becoming love before sharing love. And the first words God spoke, like I said earlier, I think this was a repetition, but I guess everything happens for a reason. When God spoke to humanity, they weren't commands, they were a blessing. And so, one of the greatest misunderstanding about love is that we must find it before we become it, right? We're always seeking love. We're looking for it elsewhere. Yet, in the divine principle, it teaches that Adam and Eve fell because they loved before they matured. Love itself was not the problem, immature love was. And so we shouldn't look out there for love. It first starts with us. If you're seeking love, how about you love first? Whatever you're looking for, and I think I read this, it was like the law of the universe or something. If you want something, you give it first. If you want love, you give love first. If you want more money, for example, you give first. You take it out for you to receive. It's an action of give and take. And so just like love, you're seeking love from your parents, your children, your friends, your pets. You just give them, you give love first. The more you give love, the more they'll start to transform and want to naturally just give you love or give it back. And romantic love may begin with attraction. That's what romantic love is. And this actually has been something I've been I'm a matching supporter as well. So some of the sisters I'm supporting, this is something we talk about. And there's this secular understanding of what love is versus God's love. And we tend to think true love or romantic love begins with attraction. But true love and God's love begins with purpose. And that's why I feel a lot of the blessing, that's the beauty of the blessing. We begin with purpose. We choose to begin love with purpose. versus looking for attraction or getting into the romantic love aspect. That comes later, because love is growth, love is maturity. And so if you begin your blessing, if you begin your marriage, if you begin your love with a purpose, for example, you make the choice to love someone, that is a purpose in itself. So when you say, I choose to love someone, that is your purpose, and you go with it because you're beginning with the purpose. But if you choose to love because you want something out of it, or because this looks good, or maybe this person looks good, or I was gonna give example of shoes, but I don't know. Yeah, but anyways, the purpose behind it is important. And so love in action, I just wanted to give some tips for the day that we could test out during our week, maybe our lives. Listen with full attention. Pay attention, listen fully. People love to be listened to. Sometimes we don't really need feedback or advice or anything. We just want to be heard. So how about we learn how to listen with full attention? And then speak with kindness. Not that I'm saying you don't listen fully, but yeah, if you don't, learn how to actively listen. And then speak with kindness and honesty. Yeah, and this is also what people look for, and it can be felt. If you're insincere, if you're unkind, this can be felt. It's a natural feeling. But if you're doing it sincerely and honestly, kindly connecting with people, then it can be felt, right? And that is in itself an action of love. And then practice patience and self-control. This patience thing. Patience, right? It's tough. But it's also beautiful, because the more patient you are, for example, if you're in a situation where you're just about to lose patience, lose self-control, how do you counteract that? How do you, in martial arts, it's like, how do you counterattack? Right? Like, if someone is about to head towards you, how do you counterattack? You love. And this is actually one of the practices in Tongan Mudo when I practiced it. This was martial arts created by true parents. And a lot of it was about mind and body unity. There was theory to it, and there was the practical part. And the theory, in the beginning, of course, like, a lot of people complained about it. But then when you start to, if you have a background of understanding the divine principle and you listen to the theory behind it, it actually helps you when you're, for example, sparring somebody in a ring. It's helped me a lot. That's why I got my gold medal, you know? Yeah, so, yeah, so it's about, I lost my train of thoughts. Yeah, patience, waiting. How do you counterattack? How do you counter that? It's through love. Instead of responding with, bursting out in anger, how about you choose to love in that moment? You breathe in, take a deep breath, and be like, okay, it's okay. How about we do what you want to do? And then fourth is serve others without expecting recognition. As human beings, it's natural to want to be recognized for something, right? Something great we achieved, something good we did. For example, doing the dishes. When your spouse does the dishes, right? You want to be recognized for it. I don't like to do the dishes. And so, but when I do, I like my husband recognizing that, oh wow, she's doing this thing that she really hates to do, right? And then I'm secretly sometimes like, oh, I wish he can just come and take over, which he does. So, but that's not really serving with a heart of wanting to serve. It's because I'm expecting him to come and take over because I really don't want to do it, right? But if I serve without expecting recognition, without expecting him to come and take over, and just serving for the sake of just doing the dishes and keeping them clean, then he can feel the love too, right? And I myself feel that love too because I'm not expecting him to take over, right? It's like an exchange here. I'm loving him through that experience too. And then fifth is forgive quickly and choose understanding. Forgiveness is tough sometimes, but it comes with a lot of peace. Once you forgive somebody, like it just there's a lot of peace that comes with that. Sometimes when my husband and I disagree, I'm ready to just forgive and just let it go because I don't want to deal with it, because I choose peace in that moment. Like, I want peace. I'd rather have peace in my heart than this building up resentment, right? Because it's just uncomfortable to have to deal with. So if you come to learn how to forgive quickly, forgive easily, and you just choose to understand the situation, then that is also an expression of love in itself. And always choose to love. I wanted to end with that one. That was my own little tip down there. Always choose to love, no matter what. It's your decision to choose to love or to choose a different energy to express, whether it's anger or hatred or resentment. It's your choice, nobody else's. And so your decision is to love. And it's both easy and difficult, but it becomes easier as you practice every single day or every single time. It's about awareness. If you're aware of yourself, okay, I'm about to get angry at my spouse or my sister or brother or this random person, and you counter that and go, okay, how can I love this person in this moment? How can I choose to love them despite whatever you're not liking about this interaction, right? How do I choose to love at this moment? And it's your decision. All right, yeah. And so I hope these tips are helpful. So next week we'll be celebrating love, and I would like to invite you all to join us to celebrate love all together. It's not just for couples. It's not, it's for everyone. Couples, families, kids, singles, or spouses to be, right? We're going to celebrate together and have a beautiful time together as a community as we share love. And then the following Sunday, the 5th, so this is going to be on February 8th. And on February 15th, like Sunmi mentioned, we'll be welcoming Reverend Dunkley here as well, and that would be right after Valentine's Day. And so, I hope we could see you next week and the week after that. So thank you very much. That concludes our sermon.